Thank you. Thank you. I like that. You held strong. You didn't clap at all. I appreciate that. You're like, you know what? Everyone's doing it. I'm not going to do it. What if I don't? What, are they going to make me? No. I like that. Is everyone going to jump off a bridge? Not this girl. I'll tell you what. She's going to stand strong. It is so good to be here. One more time for all the opening comics you've seen tonight. Brett, Greg, and Ken. Hell yeah. This is so good. This is my first time here, and I like it. This club's been around for a while, and you can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it. Like, I haven't seen this since I went to someone's bathroom in 1992. Like, this is I got a nice house, too. This is a nice... If you had this in your bathroom in you were doing well. Or you just got divorced from someone doing really well. This is nice. The lighting, oh, this is like when they tried to kill Scarface in the movie Scarface. Remember that? They were doing that? I love it. I like it. I like how everything leads down. I like it. There's so many levels. Oh, there's just levels and levels of people. And everyone's above me, and I don't care for that. I'll be honest. Makes me feel down just a touch, but it's so good. Everyone's here in the front, except for that table, just to let me know. I like that. You're not allowed. You're a tier 2. I'm so sorry. Can't bump you down. That's tier 2. There's tiered seating. How are we doing in the mezzanine? Doing all right in the mezzanine? All right. Lower luge or something? I don't know. I never knew how that one was pronounced either. Ah, man. It's so good to be here. It's my first time. I've been to Ann Arbor before, but never to do comedy. I just came as I came to have lunch once. This is 2018, maybe? It was before the pandemic. Remember before? Yes. Remember that? Doesn't that feel like 100 years ago? Like, 2021 feels like yesterday. 2018 feels like, what? That's before I graduated high school. What are you talking about? I came here in like 2018. I was working in Royal Oak, Michigan, and I had a friend who lived here. He's like, come up, let's have some lunch. And I was like, that's cool. We had lunch, and then he's like, you want to go see that? I wanted to see the stadium, the big house. It's like 100,000. I've never been to a 100,000 seat stadium, and I wanted to see it, so we went. And I didn't think we could go inside, but there was actually an event going on. It was Pee Wee football. And I'm like, I kind of want to go in there. And my buddy's like, yeah. And we bought tickets. They charged tickets for Pee Wee football. And they sold it to us. And they were like, I don't think they have any kids in there. I don't know if you ever showed up to a youth event without any children in the game, but you get a lot of side eyes from the other. I just wanted to see the stadium, you know? I didn't care. And I went in, and let me tell you, those little kids did not sell a lot of tickets. All right? Like, pretty empty. They could have done it at a smaller venue. Just giving me a tour, you know? Oh, no, it's 100,000 seats. There are 7. Who wants to watch that? I'd be upset if it was sold out. 100,000 people to watch 7-year-olds run a sweep? No, thank you. That's a football play. I like it. I like the energy in this room. It's like there, but it's still summer. And I like it. You guys have the energy of people that were at the lake all day. That's the energy in this room. You're like, well, we got a little sun. Let's go catch a show. We'll go catch a show at the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase. We'll lean our heads up against some neon lighting and listen to some humor. Got that guy with that. That was a good laugh. That was a good ha ha ha. Yeah. We're opening up. Last night I was in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, there it is again. That's a good laugh. Got Count Dracula in the corner. We're doing all right. Yes. I feel like I'm busting them open with each one of these. If the world's most interesting man had a laugh, it would be that. Ha 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 ha. It's almost like the laugh Ray Liotta had in those terrible tequila commercials. Do you remember that? Remember like a few years ago, Ray Liotta sold tequila on TV? And he didn't have any lines. It was just him walking in, and he'd stare at the bartender like a maniac. Do you remember this? If you don't, I'll just play it out for you. Ray Liotta would walk into a bar being Ray Liotta, and he would just make eye contact with the bartender and go. And then he would eventually he'd be like, this drink? And he's like, and then he'd pull the tequila that the ad was for and be like, this one? And he'd go, and then he'd hold it and he'd go, ah! I am assuming that's what that laugh sounded like, if they allowed to put that into the commercial. It's a good laugh. It's a tequila laugh, you know. Right? It's contagious, isn't it? You're coming around. I like it. I can feel it. You regret not clapping now. I can feel it. You're like, you know what? I should have clapped when he came up, because... But I get it. It's weird to clap first. That's like tipping before you get the food, right? Which that's pretty common now. I got Starbucks twice today, and in the drive-thru they make you tip, and I'm like, how do I even know, though? How do I know it's going to be good? How do I know you didn't put too much water in the oatmeal? And you just have to give them the money anyway, you know? They should do a thing. They should, you know? I like tipping at a sit-down restaurant because you get to eat the food first, and you're like, that was amazing. Your service was great. 20%. But in the beginning, you're like, I don't know if you know how to make a brown shaken oat iced latte. Sorry. That is how you know. That is how you know. I'm aging. I'm 36. Not old, but it happens slowly, you know? It's an ideology that changes. Like, I'll watch those Karen videos on TikTok, and sometimes I see their point. Sometimes, right? Not all the times, but sometimes you're like, yeah, where is the manager? I need a receipt, all right? This is a business lunch. I gotta tell the IRS about this. I need an itemized receipt. And that's how you know it creeps up. You're like, ugh, I'm on the wrong end. But yeah, I had a wonderful time last night. I did a show in Columbus, and I drove here from there. And it was a good drive. Nice, you know. I live in New York now, so I don't drive anymore, so it's nice to drive. I get to catch up on podcasts, and I remember, you know. You ever do that? You ever have a long drive and you just drift off into your thoughts, and you're like, oh yeah, I did that. I owe that person an apology. Oh yeah. That's when you remember, right? You got that long drive, there's nothing but straight for 2 hours, you're like, whoa, I said that? That's what I do. That's why they have cruise control, because they know you're gonna drift off into your thoughts. You ever see a driver out there that just dips down to 50, then goes to 80, then goes to 50? They're deep in thoughts. That's what's going on. And they're like, good Lord, I did say that. And then they dip down to 50. They're like, oh no! So I'm on the cruise control. And that's why I don't get mad at other drivers, because it was a PT Cruiser, which it was just me and this PT Cruiser. There were other cars, but it was me and them for the entire drive here. And they would go slow, they would go fast. I had cruise control set to 75, so I was doing the same. And I'm like, man, you are really going through something right now. It was like peeking into someone's therapy session, you know? You're like, you're gonna get there, you're gonna get there. Maybe journaling? I don't know, but it's good you're doing this on the 75 North. This is good. It's a good mix, man. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Came in yesterday I'm horrible at travel. I flew into Cleveland to do a show in Columbus, and then I drove here, and then tomorrow I have a show Sunday I have a show in Sandusky, Ohio. And I learned that none of these are near, kind of. I mean, they're fine. It's not what I do. I am only decent at this, what I'm doing right now. Travel and all that stuff, I'm like, I don't know. Last week I went to the wrong hotel. I went to the wrong Marriott. I'm a Marriott Titanium Elite member. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Look at everyone else. Sad, right? Like, he's better than us. I am. All right? Only because I have the Titanium Elite membership. But I went to the wrong I was in Illinois. I was supposed to go to St. Charles, Illinois, and I landed. I didn't have any sleep in Chicago, and I just put in Marriott. And the first one that came up, I was like, yeah, probably. I don't know. And I showed up. You ever not sleep and then try to drive immediately? And then so I showed up at the hotel, and they were like, we don't have any record of you coming here. And I was like, I'm a Titanium Elite member. And they're like, thank you. You know, that's where the little Karen was coming up in me. And I'm like, do you not know my status? You know? And they were so nice behind the counter, they looked me up in the entire Marriott system. And they're like, you're staying at a hotel in St. Charles. And I'm like, where am I right now? And they're like, you're in Schaumburg. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I love it, though. I love statuses. That's what I'm all about, because I grew up in the trailer park. So my entire life goal as an adult is just to be treated better than everybody else. That's what it is. I've had to be on the bottoms during my developmental stages, and that's how villains are created. That's the backstory to a supervillain. You're like, he was poor, and everyone knew it. And now his only goal is victory. You know? I got incorporated this year, so I'm a business now, Zoltan Comedy Incorporation. And I only did it, don't clap yet. I only did it so I could get a purple credit card that lets me into the lounge at the airport. It's the only reason I did it. And it's because I was tired of going to the airport. I'm at the airport every week, and they're all lining up to this gated community. And I wasn't allowed in. It reminded me of my childhood in the trailer park, and I would just look up on the hill to houses with foundations, and I'm like, why do they get to live there? And then I'm like, how do I get into that damn gated breakfast? And I found out you have to have this credit card, but you can only get this credit card if you're a business, so I incorporated. I hired a bookkeeper. I filled out paperwork. I got an EIN number. And they're like, why did you do it? Did you do it for the tax breaks? No, I did it for sweaty eggs at LaGuardia Airport. That's why I did it. It's not even that great in there, but I just want it in, you know? I don't know what it says about me, but... A few more years at the lounge, I'm gonna have that laugh. I'm gonna be there with that cappuccino. So I'll laugh at everyone in line at Dunkin'. Silly. Yeah. Yesterday was a weird day. You ever have one of those days where nothing goes horribly wrong, but also it's just like a million little things go wrong, and you're like, what is it? What is it today? Is it me? Is it the world? What's going on? I had an early flight, like I always do. You think I'd be prepared. It's an every week situation, but I'm never. You know, like I had a flight Thursday morning. I had to wake up at 3:30 in the morning. And really, I could have woken up later, but I wanted ample lounge time. So I wanted to get to the airport early. I could have woken up later, but I'm like, oh, those sweaty eggs are mine. And I'm still new to it. Maybe I'll get used to it now, whatever. But I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, and the night before, I'm like, I'm gonna go to sleep early, and my wife's like, are you sure you don't wanna watch some TV with me? And she gave me TV eyes, and I'm like, I wanna watch TV. And then we stayed up till like midnight or something after. I probably went to sleep at like 1. You ever do that? You go to sleep late, and then wake up super early, and then you wake up, and you're like, did I even fall asleep? Right. It was one of those where you're like, I felt like a long blink, is what that felt like. Like, that wasn't a dream, that was a thought. That's all I had. I had a thought, and then the alarm went off. And so I went to the airport, and then I landed in Cleveland, hopped in a rental car, and just drove, which is so dangerous. Just no sleep, new city, car I'm not familiar with, and just doing 80 on the interstate, just figuring it out, you know? And hopefully not falling asleep, because if I do, I know me. I'm taking someone with me. I'm just gonna, minivan, there we go. We're going into a ditch. You were too excited about that. I do want to say, yes, take them all out. All the minivans. That was a vendetta laugh, is what that was. What's that? You drive horribly? All right. I'm not allowed to add on to that. But yeah, that's... I'm allowed to chuckle if you say it, but I can't chime in with my opinion. Yeah, man. I was driving pretty bad yesterday because I was tired and I wanted to get. I'm like, I need a coffee, so I wanted to get a Starbucks, and they're like, "There's a Starbucks." You know those little signs? They're like, "Oh, what did they clean the freeway?" And they're like, "No, they didn't adopt a highway. There's a Starbucks at the next exit." And so I got off at the Starbucks, and I was so tired that I like waddled into the. Have you ever been that tired where you're like, I think people might think I'm drunk, so you just kind of walk in, and I'm just kind of swaying in line. And I'm so tired, I'm practicing my order in my head before I get to the person, because I know this can't happen in the moment. I gotta rehearse these lines. So I'm just in my head, just kind of going, bacon, egg, Gouda sandwich, cold cream, cold brew. That's all I'm doing. It's sweet cream cold brew. That's what it is. So I was just in there going, bacon, egg, Gouda sandwich, sweet, in my head. But I know me. I have an expressive face, so I'm sure on the outside, people are just looking over, and I'm like, And I was ready. There was like 3 people ahead of me. I had my credit card out. I wasn't gonna mess with the zipper on my back pocket. I had the credit card in my hand, purple, it's ready to go. And then I get to the front, I'm not making this up. The lady sees me holding the credit card, she goes, she goes, our system is down. You can only pay through the Starbucks app or cash. And I was like, bacon, egg, Gouda sandwich, sweet cream cold brew. Like, I don't know. I wasn't ready for that. My brain is too tired. I don't have it. And she goes, well, you can't pay with that. Have you ever been in that situation? It was such a weird situation. I was like stuck in no man's land. It was like I was a time traveler, but to my own era. You know what I mean? Like I had the right thing, but they were only accepting things from the future and the past, but not now, you know? It's like you can either pay from the future or like you're buying heroin in an alley. That's how you can pay for this. And she repeated it. She's like, you can only pay through the app or cash. And I'm like, I don't have either. And she goes, I'm so sorry. And I just went, And that was yesterday. Man, that joke came together good. I like that. That was my 3rd time telling it. Twice yesterday, once today. Yeah, it could be something, right? Yeah. It's easy to write jokes when none of it's made up. You just go, this happened yesterday. And I'm very self-aware. Hey, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it, shared it, subscribed to it, hit the notification bell, do all the things YouTube makes you want to do. Other than that, I wanted to let you know that I'm constantly on tour, so go to my website, zoltancomedy.com, and see if I'm coming to a town near you. Thank you kindly.
Before I came out here, my girlfriend suckered me into watching that movie, The Notebook. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. It's a real ladies flick. If you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful movie. It's a beautiful movie about a beautiful man and a beautiful woman having a beautiful relationship that would never happen in real life ever. It's completely made up. And it sucks because women are into it. They're like, oh, he's so sexy and nice and considerate. And then you turn and you look at your turd of a boyfriend and you're... Why aren't you more like this guy that's never existed in the history of a... There was a scene in that movie where he writes a letter every day for a year to that girl. Every day for a year. Not a text message, not an email, not an IM, a letter. Stationery, a quill, dipping it in ink, every cursive S, going to the post office, a letter. My girlfriend saw that. She's like, oh, would you do that for me? No. Never. I give up during text messages sometimes. You guys ever do that? You want to text your girl something sweet, and then halfway through you're like, I got nothing today. I gotta Google something that rhymes with sugar rump, because this ain't gonna cut it. Try again tomorrow. My favorite scene in that movie is the rowboat scene. If you haven't seen, this is what happens. There's a beautiful rowboat, right? A beautiful rowboat, beautiful date. She's dressed to the nines like she's meeting the Great Gatsby later, just dressed up. And they're rowing out there, and it starts to rain. But she's all dressed up, and she's like, "Oh no, rain!" For like a second, she's, and then she just goes, she just starts laughing like a maniac, just. And then they made love on the beach. And I was looking at that situation, looking at my girlfriend, going, that is not how that would go down. If that was me and my lady, she's dressed up, I take her out on a rowboat date, it starts to rain, she'd be like, oh, screw you, are you serious? Are you serious right now? You idiot! You didn't plan ahead? Oh, you moron! And I'd be right there yelling back at her going, oh yeah, you say I'm boring, you say I'm not adventurous, well this is adventure. Now grab an oar, you soggy broad, we gotta get back to shore. Hey guys, that's been my time, my name is Zoltan, thank you very much.
Yeah, I like it. Man, are you comfortable? You got your foot right on the stage. I like that. That's the confidence I want. I want to put my foot on a stage. That is some primo, and I can tell you're kind of tall. You have the build for putting a foot on a stage. I like it. I like it. How is everybody? Yeah. Seattle on a Saturday night. It's happening. It's really, yeah. It was a beautiful day, and right at the end, they're like, how about some rain? You know? This is a little too nice for Seattle. People are gonna forget where they are for a second. Because that's the look of the local Seattle person, just a little damp all the time. Everyone looks like they just walked through a puddle. A little bit, just a little damp. I've realized Seattle has two kinds of people, and it's the same look. It's a look of intensity, of like, I'm gonna go change the world, or just another look of like, I tried, it didn't work out. Like, add in dampness, you know? Just a little wet and a little, you know? Kind of the feeling here in Seattle. I love it. I love this street. This street, I think, sums up Seattle perfectly. Like right now, we're performing at a comedy club that used to be a strip club, you know? And yeah, okay, all right? I feel like you wish it still was, all right? You're like, does it turn into one? No, no. Not with me up here. I don't have the confidence, all right? I have the type of body confidence that if I go to a hotel pool and there's someone there with abs, I leave that hotel, all right? I actually think I think in-shape people should have certain times they should be allowed at the pool. You know, like a community pool, they have adult swim, and then they have kids swim, and then they have people training for the Olympics. They should have that for people with abs, all right? You're allowed to go to the pool between this time and that time, and the rest is for us flabby people, you know? Some people that have a misshaped nipple or something, we can go feel comfortable. So I can feel comfortable at the hotel pool taking my shirt off with that, just bam, bam, just right there. With all those abs, my fiance's here. I don't appreciate how I'm feeling in this situation. She's pretending not to look, I'm pretending not to see that she can look. Come later, you know? But yeah, this will not be a strip club. That was the point of all of that. But you can still feel it in the walls that used to happen here. That's why this dude has his foot on the stage. You're like, I think this used to be a strip club. That foot, that's the spot I used to put it when it was. You can feel it, man. Everyone on this stage has one or is about to get a therapist, you know? It's a little mixture of the two. I like it. It's on the street. Yeah, the building next door used to be a place where Ted Bundy used to pick people up to do Ted Bundy things to them. I don't know if you knew that. I feel like I just slipped you in on some local information. And former strip club, Ted Bundy, and then there's just the cat sanctuary right next door. It's the most Seattle thing ever. Just a mixture of, those are all the sounds of Seattle, just wrapped up into one. I love this city, man. This is the only city where I walk around and 10 times throughout the day I'll be like, what's he doing? It's the only city I go to where I'm like, what is that person doing right now? And I'm seemingly the only one that's interested. Like yesterday I saw a dude smoke, he just stopped and sat in a bush and smoked a cigarette next to a preschool playground. And I'm the only one that took a look. There was a park bench, and he's like, nope, right here. And and there's kids somersaulting right on the other side of a chain link fence. And I just walked by, and I'm like, what's he doing? And everyone else is like, why don't you mind your business, all right? I feel like that's a lot of Seattle. Just people just doing weird stuff, and everyone else going, why are you judging? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm noticing. I'm documenting in my brain. That's all. I'm not telling him to stop. That's good for the kids' lungs, you know? Get them tough for the next one. Anyway, it's very nice to be here. I had a good time, went downtown, hopped on your light rail, which I love. I love it. Keeps extending. Every time I come, it's a little further. They add another neighborhood I've never heard of. It's like, do you want to get up to Northgate? And you're like, maybe. All right. I feel like next time I'm going to come up, Vancouver. We made it all the way to Vancouver. You're like, oh, I thought the Amtrak went there. You're like, yeah, but do you want it to take longer? You know, hop on this one. I like how you guys run your light rail, too. It's clearly on the honor system. And you can buy a ticket, you can, or you can just get on. It's so weird. That's the first place I see when I land at SeaTac. I get in, and then they test my integrity. As soon as I land, they're like, would you like to pay $5, or do you just want to get on? That's, you know, that's Seattle right there. Like, let's see where you stand, you know? I'd pay for the ticket because I don't want the awkwardness. I hate the awkwardness. Like if a cop asked me and I'd go, I didn't know I'd see you. Yeah. I didn't know you'd be here. Tried to save a few bucks with the old inflation. Yeah. I love it. I love your city. It's been a wild week, man. We finally got an end to the war. We got a winner to the war. You know? Yeah. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard figured out that battle. I was wondering, I'm like, is that war going to end before the Ukraine one? And it did not. Man, that court thing like really showed America's attention span. We were all in, support Ukraine, we stand with Ukraine, and then Johnny Depp and Amber Heard came out, we're like, put a sock in it, Ukraine, all right? Need to figure out what happens with this pirate, all right? If he wins, we get another movie. If he loses, we got to rewatch an old movie. I don't know about you guys. I watched every episode of that court case. I watched every episode, and I think they're getting back together. I think some people are meant for each other. I think some people are perfectly equally toxic, and they're supposed to be with each other. They're meant for each other. Like one of them, you know, is a little bit drunk. The other one takes a dump in a bed. I think that works. They just need to work on themselves a little. Johnny Depp may need to go to rehab. Amber Heard may need a litter box. Like, I think we can find common ground solutions here. Keep it together, man. You know what the main thing I liked about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial is that he's cool all the time. That's not an act. He always dresses like that. He always looks like a pirate. And I think it's very important to pick your look, you know, because you're going to have to wear that look for a long time, you know? Like, I think when he picked his look, he's like, I'm not going to live that long, you know? be able to just dress like a pirate that's going to court for the rest of my life. But then he made it to the age he made it to, and he starts to wake up in the morning like, damn it, I'm still alive? All right. Put on my hat with a feather, and I'm 62 years old. Why am I still doing this? That's why you gotta, don't pick a look you can't stick with, you know? That's why I used to have long hair, and I cut it, because I realized I had a look, and I'm like, I don't want to do this look in 30 more years. My hairline's already receding. I don't want to look like Gallagher, you know? Just 8 feet of forehead and some hair going on in the back. So I cut it off, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look like I sell insurance for a few more years, and then after that, shave it, you know? Look like that dude right there. That's me in 10 more years. And you're wearing a t-shirt with a hammer on it that says, "This is not a drill." I love it. Have you ever had a moment where you see yourself from the future, and you're like, that's exactly who I'm gonna be? Because I know your exact thought process when you put that shirt on. You're like, we're going to comedy, huh? And that's me. That's me to a T. Oh, man. I love it. I like meeting myself from the future. He has so much energy, you know? Trump has like the energy of like a divorced guy. You ever hang out with a guy who's like newly divorced? He's like, buddy, I'm living my life. I'm going on a trip. I just signed up for jujitsu. I'm on like, it's like, dude, calm down. Like, enjoy. Sit with your feelings a little. No, I'm gonna destroy the Department of Education. I'm kicking everybody out of my house. It's my house. We're cutting these kids off. You know? He just has the energy of a divorced guy. And so it's interesting to watch, man. It is. It's interesting to watch. Like that whole thing with Zelensky where they yelled at him. That was... My wife and I watched that together, and I was like, this is what happens when you don't have a TV in the living room. Like, that's what... Like, they need to put a TV in the Oval Office, and I think... Like, you ever been in a living room without a TV? If someone's, like, family, and then you're like, what are you asking for an argument? Because sure enough, it's going to happen. There's a bunch of people sitting around that don't usually talk to each other. And then you just go, what do you mean by that? But then there's a TV on, and you're like, wow, I love this commercial. Dude, have you seen the Geico? Have you seen it? A nice little commercial that'll break up any kind of steam. We're here, yeah. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming out. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for showing up. Stanford, Sean, I didn't know this many people lived here. I'll say that. I didn't know this many people lived in Stanford that they're like, we could fill this room up. Every time I come through Connecticut, I don't know what's going on. I'll be honest, it seems like a secret. Like it's either like a busy city part where you're like, I don't think so. I don't know. And then you go out into the, then you get out of the towns and it's just like, well, this is all haunted. Like, what is this? So it's either like haunted or too much. And there's like, is there a medium? There isn't. It's either a farmhouse churning butter, living with the ghosts of your ancestors, or just this. Okay, all right. It's either watch out for this buggy and a horse or let's valet park. Let's do that. There's no in between in Connecticut. Thank you all for coming out. I love the setup of the stage. I love the gap here. Just like, it's like a splash zone setup. It just feels like whatever's going on, I'm the one that has it. And they're like, just let them be over there. We'll put one table very close. Just one table. Did those tickets cost less? Were they less? Be like, listen, there's two of them. You're going to be real close, but you will be alone. It will just be you two and everyone else facing you going, why are they sitting so close? It just feels like you guys scooted your chairs up. Like, I don't know, like, scoot up. Just scoot up. We'll get up close. These people didn't do it. You're so far away. Man. Whoever did the seating in this place took a night off. I like it. They're like, I got an idea. It's very avant-garde. It's like those architects that build buildings, and you're like, how's that standing? There's like one in New York that's like an infamous building. Mike was telling me about it last night, where it was too thin. Like, it's just a straight-up building, and the wind, not good. And they didn't think about that. Like, that guy's still an architect somewhere. Like, that guy just left that job. Now he's designing another disaster somewhere. And so, yeah, that's how it goes. I like how when the laughs end, they really end right there, too. That's a real off-a-cliff drop-off. So we moved back, and we're back to visit. We've been here for a week, and it's been nice. I love it. I had a homeless guy lunge at me. That was fun. I like it. I missed it. No one does that in San Diego. There's no lunging. You know, just to wake you up. You don't need a coffee after that. On your way to a coffee shop, someone's like, hey, and you're like, wow. By the way, that was my response right there. It was yeah. Just a polite, I see you too, buddy. How are you? I just realized, like, if that guy hit me, it would have taken so long to respond. Like, some people have, like, quick reflex. I don't have, like, my reflexes are, huh? Like, I think that guy could have hit me 10 times before I realized I was in a fight. Like, you need to be quicker, you know, and I'm just not, I don't do any of that. We did it, we had fun. We went to some brunch spot, I forget the name. All the restaurant names are getting out of control. We went to, like, I think the Farmer's Daughter or something. I kind of miss when restaurants were just the guy's name. Remember that? Like, oh, yeah, come on into DeMilly's. And then the owner was like, I'm DeMilly. And you're like, oh, I get it, because the name. You know, but now it's just like the farmer's daughter, the butcher's apprentice, and just the maitre d's attorney. Why don't you come over here? The goat's ex-wife. Like, come over here and and you're like, I don't even, just call it a restaurant. But yeah, we went to one of those, and it was fine. And then we tried to go to the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art, and we're like, I'd like to look at some art. And then you see how many people are there, and you're like, I'll just buy a hat. I like it. That's one of the rare museums where the gift shop is by the entrance, where you have the choice of seeing the line of tourists that are going in, or you can just go get a hat and tell people that you went and checked out the MoMA. And that's what we did. I don't like a bunch of people at my art museum. That's for me. You know, I need space. I need to look at the art. I need to feel it. I don't need to see someone's head just creeping in. It's so bizarre. You ever look at a piece of art too long and you kind of get sucked in? And then you zoom out and you're like, oh my God, there's people next to me. Ugh, get away from me. Are we both having the same moment? Yuck. I don't know. Like, I also like to go to museums alone. I go with my wife or by myself. Like, I don't like to go with a group of friends. A lot of groups of friends like to go to museums. And I don't like it because I got nothing to say about the art. You know, I just look at it. That's all I do. But I don't want to talk about it. I don't want anyone to go, oh, what do you think he was feeling when he painted this? It's like, dude, don't turn this into a book report. Let me just enjoy the art. I'm looking at it. I just don't know how to describe my joy. That's all. Let me just enjoy the damn art. Like, last time we went to an art museum with friends, it was my wife's friend and her boyfriend that had to be friends with me. If you've never been... You know how that goes, where, like, they hit it off, and then you guys are like, well, we have to like each other because they like each other. And we all went to an art museum together. We went to the Whitney in New York, and the first painting was ceiling to floor, wall to wall, just a real specimen of a piece. And I was looking at it, and I was like, wow. And then the dude walked up to me, he's like, pretty impressive, huh? And I'm like, yeah, it's so big. Like, that's what and then as soon as I heard it, I'm like, did I just call the art big? Is that what I did? And then thankfully it was an art museum, so my voice just echoed through the giant hall. It's so big, big, big. And he's like, big? And I'm like, yeah. So then I had to explain why I called it big, and I was like, wow, you could tell this is the artist's later work, you know? Like, he probably had to sell some smaller ones until... he could afford a canvas. I don't know if you know how much canvases are. They're pretty high to... Buddy, have you been to a Michaels? It is... You'll be surprised, you know? You ever go to a Michaels and you're like, I'm going to get into painting. And then you're like, that's fine. I didn't know that's what brushes cost. Good Lord. That's why these artists are starving. I'll tell you what. And so anyway, I'm just talking about the art being big, and and he just drifted away from me during the conversation. And my wife showed up, and she's like, "What's wrong, baby?" And I was like, "I just called the art big." And she's like, "It is pretty big." And I'm like, "I love you." Like, thank you for being on my team. That's what you need sometimes. You just need someone that's on your team, you know? That's why, I noticed, my wife and I are perfect for each other when we went to the Whitney, because there was a piece of art that was made with real reclaimed burnt wood. It was like wood that was in a fire. And it said in a plaque next to the art, hey, this was made of real burnt wood. And my wife went up, she read the plaque, and then she's like, that's real burnt wood. And I was like, you're my soulmate, baby. I think we're meant to be. You and I are supposed to know each other, you know. So yeah, we've had a good time. Last night was pretty wild. It's nice to be here in Stanford. Last night we were in Long Island, somewhere. I'd never been to Long Island, and it was a very cool club, old-timey club, and it was run by the mob, I think. That's what I like about the East Coast. There's still stuff where I think that guy's in the mob, and even if you politely bring it up, they go, hey, it's kind of they don't give you a yes or a no. They're just it was this dude. He was Italian. He was probably in his 50s or something. Slick back, grease back hair. He's wearing a purple suit with a black turtleneck. Oh, and he had a cane and shiny shoes. And he's like, I just had knee surgery. I'm like, that guy got shot in the knee. Is what happened. There's no way that guy had knee surgery. That was from a bullet that he took to the knee. And he paid me in cash, which was insane. Just a dirty envelope of cash. And he's like, it's all there. And I'm like, all right. He was real, but I couldn't tell. It was what a Disney movie thought a mobster was in the 80s. You know, you watch All Dogs Go to Heaven. I don't remember if there was a mobster in that movie, but if there was, it would have been... Oh, remember Oliver and Company? Remember that one? The mobster from that cartoon paid me cash in an envelope. And I was like, how do I even tell my agent about this? I was just thinking of the taxes. I'm like, well, I got to pay him 10%. Do I just take out some of that? And I go, we're all off the books here, I think is what we're doing. I like that. That doesn't even happen anymore. It's good to get a little piece of danger, you know? That's what I like. That's honestly my favorite part of traveling. I don't want anything to ever happen to me, but I like the fear of it. I like the sense of a little bit of, ooh, you know? Just a little something. I used to work cruise ships, and I used to hate working on them, but every once in a while we'd go through a storm, and I'm like, yeah, dude, take it down. Take it down. But don't, but maybe. You know, but just that in between. Yeah, it was good. That's the feeling. Remember the asteroid that was going to hit? That was the feeling. Yeah, dude, every day it would be 2%, now 3%. I'm like, nice, dude. It's just this relief. Isn't it nice to know there's an end? You know, you ever read a book that you're enjoying and you stop and then you see how many pages are left? You're like, I can do this. No? All right. Even when I enjoy reading, I like to know how many pages are left because I'm like, all right, we can get through that. That's what the asteroid did for me. They're 7 years. And I'm like, yeah. I don't think past 7 years. I think 5 years. My wife, she plans. She's like, what's your 5-year plan? I'm like, what? I only plan out as far as I have shows on the calendar. And then, I don't know, I might have to get a job. I don't... It's nice to know there's an asteroid coming, you know? Man, I gotta finish the yard, you know? There's only 7 years to enjoy the yard. I'm trying. I don't know. But it's been fun. We've been having fun. My wife and I have been traveling, which I never did growing up because we grew up poor. You grow up poor, you don't travel. You might see a theme park once. I grew up in Southern California. We're going to Disneyland again, you know? And they're like, are you going? I'm like, yeah, we went. And that was it. It wasn't, with my mother, it wasn't even, it wasn't that she would get mad for me bringing it up. I just knew that's where you put that. Hell yeah, it's all right. That's why. See, the tables are too snug. If they would move them up a little bit, that guy would have had room to slip out. But they're all just crammed so far away. You guys, that's why no glasses are breaking here, because you guys shimmied up to the front. I'm telling you, whoever designed this room is laughing somewhere. Can't believe the check cleared, you know? Not because they don't have money. I just meant because of the design that he left. All right. I saw one person's face, and I'm like, oh, they didn't get the joke. I have to explain, but yeah. Yeah, we've been traveling, and like growing up, I would never ask my mom, like, hey, can we go to Disneyland again? She would just be like, what? We did it. You remember? We have pictures. We had pictures printed at the CVS. Here are the photos. There you are at Disneyland. And it's like, you don't need to go see it again. But now, you know, and then they're like, you got to travel in your 20s. I didn't have any money in my 20s. We didn't travel anywhere. And then now I'm in my later 30s, and now we got some money, so I'm like, let's go. But it's kind of too late. You know, like I don't have the excitement. It's not that great. I don't. Like before we go on a trip, we watch like YouTube videos on what to prepare for, and then we get there. I'm like, man, those videos were clear. It's not even better. It's better at home on the YouTube, because then when you're done, you're at home. When we were done with Germany, we were still in Germany. And I'm like, man, this is a long-ass flight home. I gotta go through customs. I could have just bought it. Learned a lot. Had to, you know, it's educational. We were in Germany, so we went, we checked out some of the Nazi museums. That's important when you go. I feel like it's wrong to go and not do some of that. You're like, you should do that. That's important. And so we went to like an administration building that the Nazis used in Cologne, and then that's now a museum. And we went, and like we were listening to all the history and stuff. And then they said that, like, in the 30s, the Nazis took over this building. They signed a lease, and then this became, they rented the building. And I was just, I couldn't, that's not what I thought they did. You know, I didn't think they signed leases. I thought they just came in and they're like, this is ours now. And guns and kicking and stuff. And no, and then so I was just telling my wife, I'm like, can you believe that? They signed, like, they came in with references and uns building for rent? Like, and then the landlord's like, you guys seem like a couple good chaps. I think I'm going to rent you the building, you know. And I just couldn't get beyond it, and I kept bringing it up. My wife's like, you're missing a lot of the tour. You got to get over the fact that they rented this building. And I'm like, it's just I don't know. It's such a small part that I'm like, how? They're so, I don't know.
Hello, this is Zoltan Kaszas, and the year is 2025. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that mind-blowing? If you were just sent in from the past to the future, and this is how you're finding out the year, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. What the hell am I talking about? The point of this is I am on tour all year. It's what I do. A bunch of cities. I'm very excited to hit them all. If you'd like to see if I'm coming to a town near you, go to my website, zoltancomedy.com. There also might be a link in this video, maybe right over my eyes. I don't know what the editor is going to do with this. It could be in the description, what have you. But if it's not, zoltancomedy.com. Hit the shows tab, go down the list of shows, see if I'm coming to a town near you, and come see me so I can continue being a comedian, and I don't have to go get a job where I'm a horrible employee. I've been told many times by numerous bosses. So please